Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing a haul of a lot of very exciting books I've got recently from a lot of quite exciting places. So this is a pretty low-key video. I got off work about 3 seconds ago and I finally feel up to filming a video, which is ironic considering I currently have a really bad cold. So not sure why I suddenly actually feel like filming. We're not going to look too far into that. But I wanted to film and I have got a lot of very exciting books recently, and as I said, from a lot of very exciting places. I've been on a few trips recently. I went to Edinburgh. Hopefully I'll have a video about my Edinburgh trip coming soon. I attempted to vlog it. I failed to vlog it, but I have some photos and stuff, so I'll try and do a video. And I went to London, so I've got some books from London, and I've also got an ILLUMICRATE unboxing, and I've just got some fun gifts I got, so lots of exciting books. I'm going to do a haul. We are, however, going to kick this haul off with an ILLUMICRATE unboxing. Where is the top? There we go. I am an ILLUMICRATE rep at the moment, so I'll link all the information down below, but basically you can use my code browsing5 for 5% off a 3 or 6 month subscription, and it does mean this box was sent to me for free, so all my opinions are my own, but keep that in mind. And also I feel like it's always worth noting I have been subscribed to ILLUMICRATE for over a year just because I love them so much, so thrilled to be repping for them. But yes, all these opinions will be my own, even though I'm a rep, and I'm very excited. I say I'm very excited. I might be slightly lying, because with being ill and not having much time to film, you may notice slight chance I've already opened this, but nonetheless, this is the August box. It was Dark Academia themed, and I can tell you now, because I've already been through it, this is my favourite ILLUMICRATE box I've ever got, which is saying a lot. I love a lot of their boxes, and surprised by this one because, obviously we'll get to it in a minute, I don't want to spoil it, but the book for this one is not one of my most anticipated, but the items, I'm obsessed. So we're going to unbox it, we're going to go through it together, I'm going to relive my excitement, and then I can actually have the items out to like play with, which is fun. But yes, Dark Academia theme, August 2021 box, let's do this. Okay, so the first two items we're going to do are actually two that kind of go together, and I haven't actually opened these yet, and that is these, which are a cup and saucer, a little teacup and saucer, both themed on Athena, who is a Greek god, the goddess of wisdom, one of my faves, not gonna lie. I feel like such 12-year-old me still having a favourite god, but Athena is one of them. And so it's a little cup and saucer set. I will open them now and see what they look like. I do not drink tea. I don't drink coffee. I drink a little bit of hot chocolate, but very, very rarely. I don't really own cups and saucers or mugs even. I have like a handful of mugs at my flat. Most of them have like TBR jar things in them. A lot have bookmarks in, and then I have 2 in the cupboard in case I had guests. So this isn't my sort of thing, but I can always appreciate pretty things. Firstly, it is teeny tiny, and it's really cute, and I'm kind of obsessed with how teeny tiny and cute it is. But you can see the design here, as ever the light, which I am fighting at the moment because it's trying to take over my flat, is doing me a bit dirty, but you can see it is this gorgeous design with gold in it, which, you know, gold's always gonna look good, isn't it? So that is stunning. I cannot deny the green and the gold. Very here for that vibe, even if I'm not someone that normally uses teacups. And then, having just done battle with the box for the saucer, let's get that out. Oh, it's really pretty. You have to give them that. It's very pretty. So there we go, that's the saucer. Hold that up there. You can see the shine. It's got a little owl at the top, which, you know, makes perfect sense, and a little sort of Greek vase at the bottom. And put them both together. You have to admit it's very pretty. Like, I have to admit that's stunning. And if I were to use a cup and saucer and actually drink from it, like, this is cute. I feel like I'm matching the vibe as well of my green jumper today. Yes, it's 17 degrees outside. Yes, I'm in a massive jumper. That is how we're feeling, in dire need of big jumpers. Okay, so that was item number 1. Item number 2 is another ceramic item. I feel like this box is just designed to stress me out about breaking things. And it is one of their book pots. I love these so much. I think I have 4 of them now, and I'm kind of obsessed. And it's this really deep purple, and what is it? A guide to secret societies. So spot on for the Dark Academia theme. Deep purple with sort of some gold detailing. And a quote on the back, maybe? Discover closely guarded secrets and clandestine agendas. So no, it's like almost like a mini blurb of the book, and it's got obviously the page bits there. lovely little pot. I love these. I have bookmarks in one. I have lots of pens in one. These are really good pen pots, and like you can line them up on your shelf with different pens in them. It makes me happy, so I'm thrilled to have another one of these. I need to find a space for it, but that shouldn't be too difficult. The next item we have are these little sticky note page flags. I'll just get them out of the plastic so you can see them without all the reflection. And again, these are just the most stunning designs. So there's what, a sword, a candle, a feather, leaves, a pocket watch and a quill. A rose, a pocket watch and a quill is what I get from trying to look at it in my viewfinder. But they're just so pretty, these little sticky notes. I'm actually obsessed with these. I probably won't use them as page tabs in books because I have very specific page tabs that I use when I'm tabbing a book. But I will use these to like mark things in my calendar or for work. Or they're really pretty. I would honestly just use these for like normal journaling, just as like decoration around the edge of the page because they're so stunning. And then a similar item is this washi tape. Again, I will get it out of the packaging so you can see it a bit better because that's very reflective. Here we go. I'm relying on them still being sticky to hold together a bit. So we've got 3 designs here and I'm actually obsessed with all of them. Let's go through them one by one. So the first one, still on like the Greek theme. This is like some busts, I guess, and leaves. I don't know if that's the right way up for you to see it, but it's really pretty. And then next up we have this one, which is like some notes and letters and a scarf and a rucksack, that kind of vibe. And then the final one is kind of like a magical school feel to me. It's like books and candles and chess pieces and a globe, all sorts of bits and bobs, but it just feels very, very magical. I'm failing at the whole like close-up thing. Okay, and then this next item is genuinely my favorite item I've ever got from ILLUMICRATE, and I'm absolutely obsessed, and I hope this becomes an annual thing they do. And it is a reading journal. It's this really nice hardback, like burgundy red journal, which I really, really like. It's got a little gold foiling book motif on the front. I like how simple it is. It's nothing too fancy. But what I love is all the designs. So this is an undated journal, meaning I think it has 12 months in it, but it doesn't have a date or anything in it. So you can just fill it in. So you can start any month you want. And if you skip a month, it doesn't matter. And you like use it whenever. So it's not you're tied into using it next year, which I really appreciate. But the art throughout is just stunning. So like this is just the little "this book belongs to" page. You've got your bookshelf spread, which is like a standard book journal opening spread. I have it in my book journal that I currently use. Goals for the year and what's that one? Plans. Then you've got a year at a glance, which personally I would probably use for like upcoming releases, that sort of thing. And then you have these gorgeous quote pages, which I just think are so pretty. And again, the designs are different every month in this, which I really like. So this is an example of a monthly spread. So you have here, you've got a month laid out like a calendar. You have anticipated releases and an expense tracker for any books you buy. You then have a reading log, which I think has maybe 10 spots. 12 spots, which for me personally is plenty. I never read that much at the moment. And then you have like a quotes page, which you can either use for quotes or honestly whatever you wanted, just a little like note-taking page. And then you have a few of these weekly plan spreads so that you can use them throughout the month, and then just a notes page at the end. And then it goes on to the next one. You can see here it has a space for you to write the month in, and like this is another example of a design. I am obsessed with all of the illustrations and designs in here, but I do have a favorite, so I'm gonna find my favorite and show it to you. Okay, so this is my favorite one. The celestial, the navy, the beige, I am obsessed. Oh my god, I love it. I also love the quote in this. In this kingdom, the queen doesn't inherit the crown. To get to the top, she destroys whoever she needs to. Love it. Absolutely love it. I honestly am just obsessed with this, and however much I love having my own reading journal that I draw out myself and I update every month, I've not updated my current one since about April. It is now September. I don't have time to keep up with it. This I have time to keep up with, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and use this in 2021 so I can actually log my reading a little bit. It is 2021 in 2022, so I'm thrilled. It'll work well for me. Sorry, I spent way too long going on that reading journal, but I cannot describe how excited I am for it. Like, genuinely, I want one of those every single year. So for ILLUMICRATE, you could just do that. That'd be fab. But now we are onto the book and the corresponding pin. So as ever, I knew what the book was because I'm obsessive and like knowing, but let's reveal it together. It is, oh my god, it's cool. There we go. Ta-da! The Devil Makes Three. Who is this by? Tori Bovalino. So this number one is just stunning with like the glitzy shine on the gold, the insanely glossy little book bit there. And then it's got these kind of turquoise teal sprayed edges, more glitz marbling on the back. On the inside, it's got marble end papers. It has got a design under the dust jacket as ever, which is this like book with two people. Gorgeous spine. I honestly just think this is one of the most stunning books. And it's also got a really pretty signed page there. I love that like design. It's just so pretty, and it's this really small format hardback, which I really like. But other than the fact this book is really pretty, the reason I'm so excited about it is because I really don't like the normal cover. The UK cover especially, I really don't like at all. I think it's such an ugly cover. I'll put it up here, and I'll put the US one up as well, which isn't as bad, but is still very unappealing. This, so much better. So much better. I'm so excited about it. And I don't know much about this. I know it's like kind of horror-y, but I think the main male character slash love interest is like the typical stuck up, you know, dark academia, super smart, super rich kind of dude, which I vibe with and love. So I'm probably going to read it and see if I can deal with the scary, because I'm a massive wuss and hate scary stuff. So we'll see how well I cope. But to read you the blurb, because it's not too long. When Tess and Elliot stumble upon an ancient book hidden in a secret tunnel beneath their school library, they accidentally release a devil from his book-bound prison, and he'll stop at nothing to stay free. He'll manipulate all the ink in the library books to do his bidding, he'll murder in the stacks, and he'll bleed into every inch of Tess's life until his freedom is permanent. Forced to work together, that sounds like enemies to lovers, I'm happy with that. Forced to work together, Tess and Elliot have to find a way to re-trap the devil before he kills everyone they know and love, including, increasingly, each other. Okay. And compared to what the devil has in store for them, school stress suddenly doesn't seem so bad after all. I think that sounds like a vibe. I'm very, very excited. I have no idea when I'll read this, along with every other book that I'm going to haul today, but I'm excited. And then quickly we'll do the pin that goes with it, as ever, by Stacey McKevy-Cornt. I love all her work. I always have done. I am obsessed. It's just a little book with like tentacles, and I think it's maybe runes kind of on the tentacles. I think this is absolutely stunning. Like, obviously it's related to the book. You can see the motifs like very similar to the design there. But to me, this is just like general spooky book vibes, which is not normally my thing. But I think this is really cool and like weirdly kind of cute with the little tentacles. I just really like it. I think it's absolutely stunning. So I'm thrilled. But yes, as I said, favorite ILLUMICRATE box ever. Favorite item is definitely the reading journal. But I mean, this is a box after my own heart. It's a reading journal, washi tape, sticky tabs, a gorgeous pin, and a book pot. Like, yes, the cup and saucer is less my thing, but other than this is literally my dream box, and it's all items I will use. So I am thrilled. Okay, so it took me way too long to do that unboxing because I was far too excited about all of it, but we're going to get into the rest of the haul now, starting with, I think, the books I got in Edinburgh. Actually, I'm just going to do the one book I got from publisher first quickly, which is Act Cool by Toby McSmith. This is a YA contemporary story. It was sent to me by Harper360, so thank you to them. They always come through with the best YA contemporaries, and the arcs are stupidly floppy, which always makes me super happy. And this, as I said, is a YA contemporary story, though kind of older YA a little bit, and follows a main character I can't remember the name of, August, who is trans, and he has come out as trans to his family but has not remotely been accepted. Very religious, sort of Christian evangelical family. And he ends up kind of running away from home, going and living with his aunt and trying out for this performing arts school in New York. And, you know, he gets in and ends up trying to get to Broadway. So, you know, if anyone that knows me knows my love of musicals, I was in heaven reading a book which is a focus on someone honing their craft, which I said many times is the thing I love, normally classical music. Classical theatre and dance and stuff also ticks that box though, so watching someone hone their craft in a school designed for arts, and it's queer in so many ways, and it's really gorgeous. I had such a good time reading this. I thought it was super fun, super interesting. I loved it. This isn't meant to be a review, this is meant to be a haul, but I've already read it, so I can say very good things about it, and I would recommend people checking it out when it comes out in end of this month, maybe. soon. Okay, now onto the books I got in Edinburgh. I did get myself 5 books in Edinburgh. The first few days I was there, I didn't really get any, and I was really proud of myself, and then I caved. So the first one I got was a complete random buy. This is not a book I'd ever heard of before, and I happened to pick it up in Waterstones when waiting to meet up with Ashley and Cody, and I just couldn't put it back. I just kind of had to have it, and it is this. It is Long Division by Kiese Lehman. May well be saying that name wrong. I need to look it up before I read it, which I don't know when that'll be, as ever. And just to give you some context, so I saw the spine, and I was like, ooh, that looks pretty. And it was a bit taller than normal books, and taller books are often American and therefore often floppy. I was correct. And so I pulled it off the shelf and saw the back cover, and I was like, oh, someone's shelved this book upside down, because clearly, you know, that's the front cover and it's the right way up. Where's the blurb? So yeah, this book reads from both sides, and by that point, I was just fascinated. Like, literally, you know, you read it forward, and then you flip, and you read it backwards. And I was so intrigued by this. So I read the blurb, and the blurb also sounded interesting. It's got a book within a book vibe, and I was like, I need this book. So I will read you the blurb, and I'm very, very excited to read this, and it is something I've never heard of and sounds completely different from my normal kind of read, so I am hyped. So this is what the blurb says. Told in 2 separate stories and written with sharp humour and deep humanity, Long Division is an ambitious mix of contemporary Southern Gothic and Murakami-esque magical realism. That had me interested enough, but then we get into the actual, like, summary, which is, in the first of the 2 stories, set in 2013, 14-year-old citoyenne City Coldson becomes an overnight YouTube celebrity after an onstage meltdown during a nationally televised Can You Use That Word in a Sentence contest. The next day, he's sent to stay with his grandmother in a small Mississippi community where a young girl named Baze Shepherd has recently disappeared. Before leaving, City is given a strange book called Long Division. Without an author, he learns that one of the book's main characters is also named City Coldson, but Long Division is set in 1985. City's 2 stories ultimately converge in the work shed behind his grandmother's house, where he discovers the key to Baze's disappearance. Intimately attuned to the confusion of young black Americans who live under the shadow of a history that they gropingly understand, the blurb continues in the back, the right way up, this dreamlike novel shows the work young black people must do in a country where racialized inequality is persistent but mutable, that the past is not the present but isn't either entirely the past. Honestly, it sounds fascinating. I have no idea. When I got this, I was like, I'm gonna read it next, and then did my typical of not doing that. But I do want to try and read it really soon because it sounds absolutely fascinating. If anyone has heard of this or read it, please let me know. If anyone else wants to, like, get a copy and we can buddy read, also let me know because it will make me read it, and I'm so intrigued by this. And I feel like, especially with the book-in-book vibes, which is a thing I know I love from, like, Starlessy and other things, I feel like I'm gonna need to discuss this with people. It feels like it's going to be a need. So if anyone else has read it, please let me know. The next book I bought was the same day when I went out with Cody and Ashley. We went to Armchair Books, and when we were there, I found a book, and Cody found a couple of Robin Hobb books, including like a signed first edition special thing, which was really cool. But the book I got for myself was The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I was a huge John Green fan back in the day, you know, Vlogbrothers, John Green, all of that. I was massively into John Green. I don't deny it. The Fault in Our Stars was my favourite book for many, many, many years. I adored it. And I still really like John and Hank Green just as people. I think they're really interesting and they have a lot of interesting things to say. So when John Green published a non-fiction book, which is like essays and his thoughts on things in the world, I was really intrigued by it. I got the audiobook. I've listened to about half of the audiobook, maybe a bit less. And honestly, it's so interesting just hearing him really eloquently talk about all these weird and wonderful topics and go on 1,000,001 tangents in the process. I'm loving it. And because I'm loving it so much, when I saw that Armchair Books had a signed copy of the hardback, I was like, well, I can't really resist because I know I love it. And I do still have my John Green collection from many a year ago. So I feel like now that I know I'm enjoying this, I would add to it. And also because although I am enjoying listening to it, because John narrates it himself and it's very interesting, I don't listen to audiobooks that much, and this is the kind of thing where sometimes I will listen to it, I'm sure, but I also am quite glad to have this copy where sometimes I can just pick it up and read an essay and then put it back down and like have it in both formats. So it's really cool. I'm very excited to have it. I don't need it, but I'm excited. And then the next 3 books I got at Lighthouse Books. This was the bookstore everyone told me to go to, and it was the one I was really excited for, and of course everyone was right. So I got one book, which I already knew a lot about, one book which I knew a little bit about, and one which I knew nothing about. So let's go through them in that order. The first is Lost in the Netherwoods by Aidan Thomas. This is not the sequel to Cemetery Boys, this is his sophomore novel. Cemetery Boys came out last year, Lost in the Netherwoods came out this year. I'm very excited. It's a Peter Pan retelling, not normally my thing, but something about the art I've seen of this and the way Aidan Thomas speaks about it just makes me want to read it. So I'm very, very excited. It is of course stunning. I'm very, very intrigued. This feels like a spooky season book, potentially as well, which I can vibe with because I don't actually do spooky. But this feels spooky enough for me. They're lost in the woods, that sounds good enough for me. Next up is Makeup Breakup. This is an adult romance, which I think I've already spoken about a couple times because I did read it in a video. Maybe? I was reading it in a video, I'm not sure I posted that video. I have about 5 vlogs I've started recently, none of which I actually finished nor posted, so undetermined whether I've spoken about this on my channel before or not, but I think I have. Adult romance, 2 people who have very different apps they're making, and they end up having like a rivals to lovers romance. It was okay, it wasn't great. I only came across this for the first time in Waterstones when I got Long Division, but decided not to get it there, but then when I saw it in Lighthouse, I caved and bought it. And then finally, I got The Disordered Cosmos by Chanda Prescott Weinstein. This is a non-fiction book, which is very exciting, a bit more non-fiction in my life, and it's all about sort of black holes and cosmology, that kind of thing. I'm just gonna read you the blurb, it's gonna be easier. In The Disordered Cosmos, Dr. Chanda Prescott Weinstein shares her love for physics and the standard model of particle physics and what lies beyond it, to the physics of melanin in skin, to the latest theories of dark matter, all with a new spin informed by history, politics, and the wisdom of Star Trek. One of fewer than 100 black American women to earn a PhD from the Department of Physics, Prescott Weinstein presents a vision of the universe that is vibrant, buoyantly non-traditional, and grounded in black feminist lineages. Prescott Weinstein urges us to recognise how science, like most fields, is rife with racism, misogyny, and other forms of oppression. She lays out a bold new approach to science and society that begins with the belief that we all have a fundamental right to know and love the night sky. Disordered Cosmos dreams into an existence, a world that allows everyone to experience and understand the wonders of the universe. I love astronomy, I love cosmology, I considered doing astrophysics at uni. That was actually what all of my uni degrees were meant to be in until I switched to engineering at the last minute. So it's definitely an area of interest for me. And so a book that breaks down a lot of that into quite simple terms, which is useful because I don't have a degree in it in the end. And then also does a load of commentary on racism and misogyny within the scientific and academic community. I want it. It sounds amazing. I, again, have no idea when I'll read it, but I'm very intrigued, and it's also a super floppy, gorgeous American hardback, which adds to the appeal. Apologies for the massive change in light. The sun has literally just dropped below the horizon, meaning we have now gone from golden hour to blue hour, and the light will be going really fast, so it might get kind of dark, so we're gonna rattle through the next few books pretty fast. Though I think pretty much the only ones left are the ones from London and then a couple of gifts I've got. So starting with books from London, I have done 2 London trips recently, and I did get a couple books each time. The first time I went to Foyles, I got Horrid by Katrina Leno. This is a book I've had my eye on for ages. The cover massively appeals to me. I'm really intrigued by it. I know literally nothing about it, but for some reason the way everyone speaks about it makes me really interested, and I have read, oh my god, what's it called? Summer of something, Summer of Salt by her, maybe? Something like that. I've read that one, which I really enjoyed, so I'm intrigued to try another. This is absolutely, I saw Kayla from Books and Lala talk about it lots, and now I'm intrigued, so now I want it. So I got it. The other book I got on that first trip I'm not going to get off my shelf is another copy of The 10,000 Doors of January. They had the UK paperback, I picked it up, it was floppy, it came home with me. We don't need to say any more than that. I have a problem, we know. I love the fact that one of the books I'm going to talk about on my second trip is very similar to that problem, but we're going to do it anyway. So, on my second trip to London, I went to Gaze the Word, which I didn't manage to get to on my first trip just because of where I was roughly in London, and I did get myself 2 books, as ever. I can't look into Gaze the Word without coming out with handfuls of books. I got In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens, which is a standalone, I think? Kind of fantasy, piratey, gay. I don't know much more than that, but come on, look at that cover. And I've heard phenomenal things. This is one I had on my radar and was interested in, but wasn't massively, wasn't a top priority for me. It was on my 50 anticipated LGBT releases list in that video, but it wasn't one I was dying to read, waiting for release date. But I've seen this recommended by booksellers everywhere, less so the public, but for some reason booksellers I just keep seeing talk about it, so I've been swayed. They sold me. So I'm very, very excited for this. And again, it's a gorgeous American hardback. How could I resist? And then the other one is 1500 Miles from the Sun by Johnny Garza Villa, which again, I've seen a lot of people talking about, much more so reviewers this one, and I've seen phenomenal reviews. Everyone says it's amazing. And again, I don't know full blurb for this. I know it's YA contemporary, but the like tagline is a poignant, funny, open-hearted novel about coming out, first love, and being your one and only best and true self. That sounds great, doesn't it? So I'm very excited. This is a one day when I want to sit down with a YA contemporary that's a little bit more hard-hitting and involved than some of my super fun ones, but still an easy read. This will be exactly what I go for. I also won't deny I got really happy at how well these two books look together. I just liked it. And then the other book I got is Mr. Fernando's 24-hour bookstore. I brought my whole collection here to show you. So I already own 3 copies of this book. I own the standard UK paperback, I own the standard American paperback, I think. And I think this is like an old UK paperback, but like it's floppy, so I don't know. Basically, I bought myself this copy and then my mum, I think I inherited these from her, maybe? I don't remember, but I already own 3 copies of this book, so I didn't think I needed any more. It's so teeny tiny. I saw it and it was like 99p in Oxfam and I needed it because it's so small. It's just like a mass market. But what's really cool, this I really like, is I was just like flicking through it for fun and I noticed the Shakespeare and Company sticker on the front, and so I looked on the back and it is indeed, this was bought in Paris in Shakespeare and Company, which is just really cool. It's literally just tiny, like I can't cope with how small it is. It's so small. So I got a 4th copy of that. So those were all the books I got in London, and then I did get myself, well, I didn't get myself, my mum got me 2 books. The first being Gender Euphoria. This is a non-fiction book I've been interested in, and she got it for herself and has read it, so passed it on to me. I don't know a huge amount about it, but by the title and the trans flag, I'm gonna guess it's non-fiction about trans and gender euphoria. So from the back, it says, gender euphoria, a powerful feeling of happiness experienced as a result of moving away from one's birth-assigned gender. So often the stories shared by trans people about their transition center on gender dysphoria, a feeling of deep discomfort with their birth-assigned gender, and a powerful catalyst for coming out or transitioning. But for many non-cisgender people, it's gender euphoria which pushes them towards their transition. The joy the first time a parent calls them by their new chosen name, the first time they have the confidence to cut their hair short, the first time they truly embrace themselves. In this groundbreaking anthology, 19 trans, non-binary, agender, gender fluid and intersex writers share their experience of gender euphoria, an agender dominatrix being called daddy, an Arab trans man getting his first tattoos, a trans woman embracing her inner fighter. What they have in common are their feelings of elation, pride, confidence, freedom, and ecstasy as a direct result of coming out as non-cisgender, and how coming to terms with their gender has brought unimaginable joy into their lives. That sounds great. I am all here for a happy book on this kind of topic. So here for that. I'm very excited to read it whenever I get the chance. And then the one other book my mum bought me was one I've been planning to buy for myself anyway, but my mum got it first. The Flames of Albion by Jean. So this is Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, and this is her debut novel, I suppose, which she's self-published, and I'm so intrigued. My mum has read this already, as she does. She actually buys books and reads them straight away because she reads a lot. And I've not got to it yet, obviously. But my mum has compared it to The Queen of Euphoria, which is a book both her and I adore, so that makes me very optimistic. The cover is beautiful, and you know, we gotta support people, so I'm very excited. I don't know too much about the synopsis, but I do know it's a queer fantasy. What, do we need more? I don't think so. So there we go, those are all the books I've got. That's pretty much the whole stack in the frame there. I want to say for over the last month, approximately. I'm not completely sure when I last did a haul. I'm not completely sure these are all the books I got in the last month. They're just the ones that I remembered, and from mainly trips and gifts, so they're all good fun books. So yes, I'm very excited. As I say every time, I have no idea when I'll read most of these, but I really want to read them all soon. I'm just not reading much at all at the moment because busy. But nonetheless, I'm very excited for them, and it's just a very aesthetic stack. I'm very excited by it. But that is it for the video, so give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what books you've got recently. Are there any of these you're planning to read soon? It's all very exciting. Subscribe if you'd like to see more bookish content from me. There are links down below to all of my other social media if you want to follow me on any other platform. But that is it for this video, so bye, and I'll see you in the next one.